Adequate notice of the January 22nd, 2026 special meeting of the Township Committee has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by posting written notice and agenda of the meeting on a bulletin board in the Municipal Building, 1000 Route 10, Township of Hanover, and by hand delivering, mailing, or faxing such notice to the following newspapers: Morris County Daily Record, the Star Ledger, Hanover Eagle, and by filing the same with the Township Clerk.
Roll call, Committeeman Cahill.
Here.
Committeeman Faramasca.
Here.
Committeeman Francioli.
Here.
Committeeman Malhalko.
Here.
Mayor Gallagher.
Here.
5 members in attendance.
All right, please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing for a prayer led by Deputy Mayor Mike Mahalko. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, please watch over and guide this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding to help make the best decisions for our residents. Please bless our first responders and township volunteers who help keep us all safe. Also bless our township employees and residents. Lastly, please let us pray for the men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces who stand vigil over us always. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Mike. Joe? Okay. Yes. Do something.
Good evening, everyone. Joe Giorgio would like to put into the record a proclamation. Joe, would you like to read a summary of the proclamation for the record, please?
Yeah, and the reason why I want to do a summary is 3 pages long, so in the interest of time, I'm going to select the most pertinent passages from that proclamation. I trust you.
It's really good.
So it's a proclamation of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover proclaiming January of each year as Human Trafficking Awareness Month in Hanover Township, and especially in 2026 when the FIFA World Cup will be played in New Jersey this year. Whereas human trafficking is among the world's fastest growing criminal enterprise, and it profits from the exploitation of vulnerable populations, including minors and adults. And whereas nearly 26 years after the passing of the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, an estimated 27.6 million people are subjected to human trafficking globally, with cases reported in every state and territory. And whereas human trafficking is a brutalist crime against individuals that violates the most basic human rights and deprives victims of every shred of personal freedom. And whereas human trafficking occurs when a person is recruited, harbored, or obtained through force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of sexual or labor exploitation. Whereas victims can be United States citizens or non-citizens and can be any age or gender, but they have a shared experience of having been forced, trafficked, manipulated, or threatened into compliance with the criminals seeking to exploit them. And whereas large sporting events like the World Cup are known to increase the demand for sex trafficking, and the World Cup in particular has also been associated with labor trafficking cases, including construction, hospitality, retail industries, and etc. It is especially important to educate our communities and raise awareness before, during, and after this event. Whereas New Jersey's MetLife Stadium will host 8 matches for the 2026 FIFA World Cup from June 11, 2026 for over 5 weeks, including the World Cup final on July 19, 2026, along with fan fests in Liberty State Park, along the Jersey Shore, and other locations. And whereas the Township of Hanover is resolved to make additional efforts to keep its residents aware of the warning signs, survivor-informed prevention messaging, and how to respond in the case of suspected trafficking before, during, and after the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And whereas the Township of Hanover is committed to ensuring that those impacted by human trafficking receive services that are trauma-informed and responsive to their individual needs. And whereas the Township commends the work of the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking for its survivor-inclusive efforts to end human trafficking in our state and beyond through education, advocacy, and assistance to survivors, and to increase coordination and visibility of New Jersey's commitment to end human trafficking. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover and the County of Morris and State of New Jersey that it does hereby proclaim January of each year as Human Trafficking Awareness Month in the Township of Hanover, to raise awareness about the signs and consequences of human trafficking, to promote opposition to human trafficking in all of its forms, and to encourage support for the survivors of human trafficking throughout the state of New Jersey and across the world, to put an end to this criminal activity and restore freedom and dignity to its survivors. Signed, Thomas Ace Gallagher, on behalf of the Township Committee, dated today, January 22nd, 2026.
Thank you very much, Joseph. I just want to also add that I've gone to a few seminars regarding this topic, and I thought I had somewhat of an understanding. And Fern, when you came into the Mayor's Wellness Campaign and discussed this with us, I realized how much we had to learn and how much we should learn and how hard we had to educate our residents and all of our families and how hard we had to work. We can't learn enough and we can't learn it fast enough. So I appreciate you bringing this to us. And we do have a very big mental health symposium coming to Hanover Township on February 5th. My entire team knows that this is important to me, to Hanover Township, and it is also important to them. And we will have reps from your coalition at our event, and we would love to have as many of your team as we can have, because this isn't, declaring a proclamation isn't one and done. This is serious. You know you have me, you know you have us, and again, we have a lot of work to do, and we're prepared to do it. So thank you for bringing a lot of this to my attention.
Sure. Can I say very short?
Please.
Short words. Thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to thank the Hanover Township Committee for signing the proclamation. The New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking is a statewide survivor-informed nonprofit dedicated to preventing human trafficking through education, collaboration, and community action. I'm not going to mention the World Cup because Joe did a great job summarizing that. I do thank you for your leadership, Mr. Mayor, and the rest of the committee, and your commitment to signing this proclamation and carrying it forward by doing the work that we all need to do, as you said. And I also wanted, and you can relay this, to thank the Hanover Township Police Department for participating for the second year in a row in the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking Law Enforcement Conference in Eatontown. They will be there again this year. It shows a real commitment to this issue. So I thank the police department and I thank everybody on this dais. Thank you.
Thank you, Fern.
Can I have one quick photo?
Yeah.
Photo what?
Why don't we all do it together so we don't,
Sure.
so nobody feels left out, because we stand together on this one.
You got it?
Come on up, guys. We'll go right in the middle and we'll all get around you. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Political base.
I'll move Brian and Phyllis in the middle.
I actually see these things.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good start.
Joe, you were great. You were always great reading.
He is always great.
Thank you.
Where'd it go? Oh. Okay, good. You all staying for the meeting? How nice. Okay, good evening, everyone. First on the agenda is a letter of resignation from Senior Citizen Program Coordinator, Dial Ride Dispatcher Sierra Cassiano, effective January 30th, 2026. May I please have a motion to accept her resignation?
I'll make the motion, although it'd be sad to see her go. She does a terrific job for us. Work closely with her with the senior citizens, but sorry to see her go. She's moving on to brighter horizons, so.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So accepted. Next is the introduction of Ordinance 4-2026. Ordinance 4-2026 is an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover, amending and supplementing Section 125-4 entitled Recreation Department Fees under Chapter 125 of the Code of the Township entitled Fees, with the inclusion of new 2026 fees related to various recreation and park administrative department programs and activities. Public hearing for Ordinance 4 will take place on February 12th at 8 p.m. If any member of the public would like to make comment regarding this ordinance, they may do so at that meeting. Now, introduction, may I please have a motion to introduce Ordinance 4-2026?
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
On roll call, Committeeman Cahill.
Aye.
Committeeman Faramaska.
Aye.
Committeeman Francioli.
Aye.
Committeeman Mahalko.
Yes.
Mayor Gallagher.
Aye.
So introduced. Next on the agenda, we have resolutions 34-2026 through 41-2026 as a consent agenda. Does any member of the committee have any questions or comments regarding any of these resolutions?
Move it be approved.
May I have a second? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. And on roll call, Committeeman Cahill.
Aye.
Committeeman Faramaska.
Aye.
Committeeman Francioli.
Aye.
Committeeman Mahalko.
Yes.
Mayor Gallagher.
Aye.
So adopted. Next, we have the approval of raffle applications. RL 3506, Whippany Park High School PTO raffle. RL 3507, What's My Name Casino Night. RL 3508, St. Elizabeth's 50/50s. RL 3509, St. Elizabeth Off-Premise Merchandise Raffle, and RL 3510, St. Elizabeth Tricky Tray Raffle. May I please have a motion to approve the raffle applications?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So approved. And Mayor and the members of the committee, that clears the agenda, and I thank you very much.
Thank you, Krista, great job. I just want to say, especially to tap into who's with us tonight, What's My Name Casino Night, the What's My Name initiative is a very, very important initiative also, because now with ride sharing, there's a lot of safety guidelines that are in place, and unfortunately, this group was put together because of a tragedy. So I would like to talk to you after this meeting and give you a little more information, and maybe we could do a deep dive into what it is and the purpose of it together. Thank you. Okay, can I have a motion open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, if anyone from the public would like to be heard, please step up to the podium, state your name, address, and you have 4 minutes. And Chris, please raise that microphone a little bit. There you go.
Okay. Hi, Chris Matisich, 32 Sunset Drive, Whippany. A couple, I guess, technical questions here. First, thank you for following through with the resolutions for EDAC and environmental and green team. I know we've been going back and forth a lot with emails on that stuff. Just for the specifics of it and following everything by the book, last week we elected Nadia as one of the co-chairs for green team, but she wasn't officially on the green team until 5 seconds ago when you made resolution 41 official. Do you want us to redo that election on February 2nd to make her an official co-chair?
Joseph, how would that work?
Yes, she could not be put on the resolution as recommending the appointments that were recommended to the Township Committee. But now that she is officially installed, you should go back and make her the co-chair as you suggested.
Okay, we'll take care of that, no problem. The second one was, I see on 39 that I'm listed as a regular member of environmental. Just to get clarification, who's the chair for environmental? Because I did look through it, I don't see it spelled out.
So, on the resolution, you can't put everything in the title, Chris.
Okay,
But based on the code, first of all, the Township Committee makes the appointments. That's why it says Township Committee.
Okay, perfect.
However, Part 2 deals with the designation of the chairperson, and that is under the auspices and control of the mayor.
Right.
Okay? I think you read that.
yeah,
So, when a resolution is framed, the whereases basically provide a history of the actions that the Township Committee will take. The most important part of a resolution are the clauses that come under now therefore be it resolved by the Township Committee. Similar to an ordinance, now therefore be it ordained, and then the clauses specify what action is to be taken and voted on. In this case, because it's a two-pronged thing, it's the Township Committee making you a member, but then the designation of you as a chairperson comes under that big portion of Chapter 22. And that is specified as item number 3 in the resolution, which says, in accordance with 22-1B, the mayor hereby designates Christopher Matisich to serve as the commission's chairman for a term expiring on December 31st, 2026.
I didn't realize that this was not the whole resolution.
Yeah.
So you guys have more to it than what's shown on the agenda. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's embodied as clause number 3 in the resolution.
Okay.
And I did write that to you in the email.
Right, I just didn't know that there was more to them than what was shown here, so now I understand that better, thank you. And traditionally, in environmental, that group has always voted to select the chair every January. I see that the code does have that as a mayoral designation, so for the future, should we proceed with doing that through the mayor's office rather than holding elections every January?
That portion of the code probably, in my opinion, should be updated to, after the initial designation is made, to probably have the members of the Environmental Commission make that decision. That seems to
Yeah.
be, but I think basically the first designation should come from the mayor, and then it'll be up to the Township Committee whether or not they want to make an amendment to it.
How does the
Okay.
Joe, the alternates, don't the alternates step up?
Yeah, this has,
I mean, in the case of a vacancy, or
yeah,
the first alternate would move into,
to a regular position, correct, yes.
And then the last thing, I know I'm out of time, I just wanted to throw it out there. I'd like to open discussion with Town Hall on how we can connect the Environmental Commission more directly to the Planning Board and the Board of Adjustments to receive copies of any large-scale building projects that are happening, essentially to be added to the mailing list to get that stuff proactively instead of us having to go and try to catch up to it after the fact.
Let me ask
And
this
we can
question.
discuss
Is
it
that-
later.
Is that one of the functions of Environmental Commission to review Planning Board and Board of Adjustment decisions?
Well,
Is that framed in the ordinance?
in New Jersey State Law 40:55D-27, it says local environmental commissions are entitled to receive copies of development applications from the Planning Board and Board of Adjustment. So that's state law. So that allows us to do such, and I've offered to the group to, as chair, to do this as a job for us. It's not something we've done in large scale in the last couple of years that I've been a member of it, but it's something that I think we need to start weighing in on. So, that's all I have, but I'd like to just open the discussion on that, not here, but, you know, figure how to best do that through email or however, so, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Lower it. Hi, my name is Diana Murray, and I'm the co-chair of the Hanover Democratic Committee, and I reside in Whippany. So I would like to speak about the ICE facility situation that's taking place in Roxbury, but it's not too far from us. And the suggestion made by someone who sits on the Board of Ed, Mr. Skiff, posting on our Facebook town page on January 11th that maybe they should come to Hanover. I think this is really a disastrous thing to say on Facebook, even if it was in jest. After what we have witnessed nationally in recent weeks, reports of aggressive ICE actions, widespread fear in communities, and troubling enforcement practices, I'm really appalled that anyone in New Jersey who has eyes and half a brain could think that bringing ICE operations into our town would be acceptable. ICE does not belong here. The presence of armed federal agents conducting immigration enforcement in a residential community is a bridge too far. These actions have led to people being questioned and detained based on appearance, creating fear and chaos rather than safety. This is not who we are, and it is not what Hanover stands for. ICE does not belong here. The clearest example of what a danger ICE is to communities is obvious when they're literally picking up Native Americans simply because they have darker complexion and are detaining them. Where are they planning to deport them? Let's think about that for a second. Native Americans. Let us be clear that ICE does not belong in Hanover Township or anywhere. Back to Skiff's posting. He is a member of the Board of Education, and they are entrusted with protecting children. Encouraging ICE operations in our town invites fear, instability, and the possibility of aggressive enforcement actions into our community. ICE does not belong here. We should debate immigration policy through lawful and democratic means, but actively inviting ICE into Hanover crosses a line. This is not a policy disagreement. It is a fundamental failure of judgment, and Gregory Skiff has proven he does not deserve to sit on the Board of Ed, and I very strongly request that you, as the committee, request that he step down. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Byron Hagan. I live in Whippany. I would also like to make a statement, address the statement made publicly by a sitting member of our Board of Education suggesting an ICE detention center to be built here in Hanover. The Board of Education exists to educate and protect children. All children, not just the convenient ones, not just the ones whose families look or sound a certain way. Every child who walks through our school doors deserves to feel safe, valued, and welcomed in this community. When a school board member publicly suggests ICE set up in our town, an organization increasingly associated nationwide with family separation, human rights abuses, and the murder of American citizens, it sends a chilling message to our students and families in this district. You are being watched. Your presence here is conditional. This is not about politics, this is about duty. A BOE member does not get to casually speculate about detention facilities as food for thought when representing a school district that educates immigrant children. Words matter, especially when they come from people in power. This is not a neutral infrastructure discussion, a zoning proposal, or an economic development plan. It was a flippant suggestion to place a federal detention facility in our town framed as a convenience issue, highway access, airport proximity, as if human confinement were just another logistics problem. Hanover is not a holding pen. Our community is not a bargaining chip, and our schools are not insulated from the consequences of this rhetoric. I'm a Hispanic man. I came from a family with many fluent Spanish speakers that did not raise me to be bilingual out of fear that I would be otherized. I can't speak the language of half of my family, although I'm learning now. If you believe ICE belongs in Hanover, you're entitled to that opinion as a private citizen. But if you're elected to the Board of Education, you do not get to separate your words from your role. You carry the weight of this district every time you speak publicly. The same Board of Ed member expressed a willingness to work with ICE if they request to enter our schools, schools where my children, our children, are there to learn. I'm calling for accountability, not theatrics, not outrage, but clarity. Our Board of Education members must reaffirm publicly and unequivocally that they serve all students and they will not use their platform to promote fear, division, or dehumanization. Our children are watching, our families are listening. We deserve leadership that understands the power of their words and the responsibility of their office. Anything less is a disservice to our schools, our families, and our values. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm Tim Murray. I live in Whippany. 2 weeks ago, our neighbors up Route 10 in Roxbury, a town governed by Republicans like you guys, voted to reject having an ICE facility there. It's not because they're against Trump or against ICE. They didn't want it in their town. Anthony Bucco, the state senator, also made a statement saying that it didn't belong in their town. But Greg Skiff said, oh, we should have it here in Hanover. We should have an ICE facility right there at the end of Ridgedale Road, where kids take a bus to the schools. Right there. He's a member of the Board of Education. It doesn't matter if you're Republican or not. We don't need armed people in our town doing the kinds of things they do, driving the way they drive. Have you seen these videos of the way they drive? The way they use their cars like weapons? And they want to come to our town, or he wants them to come to our town. I'm calling on this committee to call on Greg Skiff to resign from the Board of Education. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fern Walken, Cedar Knolls. I think most of us have been watching as Immigration and Customs Enforcement, otherwise known as ICE, have been infiltrating our nearby communities like Dover and Morristown and arresting immigrants, including children, and U.S. citizens alike without any cause or due process. While we may feel differently about whether ICE should exist, I think we can all agree that the beatings, break-ins, and killing and maiming of U.S. citizens and immigrants is horrific and in most cases illegal. Renee Good, a U.S. citizen, was shot in the face in cold blood in Minnesota, and now people are harassing her 6-year-old son in school because they don't like the curriculum. ICE's playbook is to dehumanize the victim, smear the community, and target children. Just yesterday, they arrested a 5-year-old boy to bait the parents into coming outside to rescue him. ICE is sending a message: if you question authority, teach history honestly, or dare to humanize immigrants, they will come for you, even if you are a tiny school full of children mourning their friend's mom. I would assume that we as Hanover residents living among and next door to immigrant families, whether here legally or not, or actually U.S. citizens, that we do not want ICE in our community, whatever your reasons may be, as so many people just suggested. Maybe you're against this out-of-control ICE department. Maybe you don't want violence in your sleepy town community. Maybe you think your home prices will decline. Whatever the reason, Hanover Township does not want ICE arresting our residents, and we certainly don't want to have an ICE detention center built in this town. Yet that is exactly what our Board of Ed member Greg Skiff posted on Facebook. Basically, he invited ICE to set up here if they chose not to set up in Roxbury. I'm almost done. I'm appalled. That is an elected member of the Board of Ed. He is supposed to protect our children and would put the children of this town in jeopardy. This is putting our residents, including our children, on the front lines. It was a real suggestion to open our town to ICE. Gregory Skiff has done this, and he needs to step down. So I ask now the Hanover Township Committee whether they will denounce Mr. Skiff and ask him to step down. I also ask if you will pass a resolution like Roxbury did against having an ICE facility in this town. I ask the Hanover Township to denounce the tactics that ICE uses to terrorize our neighbors and commit to not using the Hanover Township Police Department to assist ICE in any way. And I would like a comment or answers to those questions, either in real time or in a statement. Thank you.
Thank you, Fern. Anyone else? I would like to answer two of them right now. One of them was by the majority of our residents that spoke, if not all. I said it in the paper, and I shot from the hip, and I got the approval of my attorney because it was clear. Hanover Township does not want an ICE detention center or any detention center in Hanover Township, period. And I even asked the reporter to write out the word period. We don't want it. And also, any detention center identifies the community. Look at any municipality that has any kind of detention center. I can go down a list. All you think about is the detention center. We are more than that. We work very, very hard to have a beautiful community that attracted my family to live here, and thankfully to many, many people that worked extremely hard to create this beautiful municipality. And it's not easy to continue to preserve what we have, build on what we have, and I even talk about respect and stigma-free. I say stigma-free is a beautiful slogan if we practiced it, and we don't practice it. We should practice it more, including me and most of the people I know. So no, we do not want a detention facility here, ICE or any other, period. The second part of that is the headline in the newspaper referred specifically to the Red Roof Inn. The Red Roof Inn is a major piece of our fourth round affordable housing obligation. We are in court, two different pieces of litigation with that property. So if you notice, none of us referred to a detention center or that specific property because we know how sensitive it is. And we know that we're in court, and it could hurt us if anything goes sideways with any of the negotiations that we do on behalf of all of our residents. So as far as we're concerned, and unless the federal heavy hand comes down, only this body can change zoning. And we have no intention on even entertaining that, period. So that's two pieces. Now, when it comes to law enforcement, and you know I'm very good friends with Mayor Dougherty, and I'm on the executive board for the League of Municipalities. We all have been talking about what we can do, the way it's being done, our authority. And last night I had a very nice talk with Mayor Dougherty, and he talked to me about a law that went into place in 2018 that limits and restricts what we can actually do on a municipal level. So I talked to my legal team last night and several times today because I wanted to give you a good answer on this. Not just say, hey, that's a good idea, we'll talk about it, because you know what that means sometimes. So, Jeff, if you could, I would like you to read into the minutes and explain to our residents what our authority is, because I want a very clear answer on this one, and I know that one is prepared. And I appreciate your time working with me on this and the governing body.
Absolutely, Mayor, you're welcome. Good evening. Recent national and local events regarding U.S. immigration and customs enforcement activities have spurred questions and concerns from the public as to the role of New Jersey state and local law enforcement with federal immigration authorities. The bottom line is this: the Township Committee and the Township Police have no say when it comes to federal civil immigration enforcement. The Township Committee has no role when it comes to directing Township Police on their role and responsibilities over enforcing state criminal laws. specifically regarding enforcement of federal immigration laws. In 2018, the State of New Jersey Attorney General issued the Attorney General Law Enforcement Directive number 2018-6, which was later revised in 2019 and is commonly known as the Immigrant Trust Directive. The Immigrant Trust Directive continues to remain unchanged as of the present date, and as the New Jersey Attorney General is the chief law enforcement officer of this state, all state, county, and local law enforcement officers must comply with this directive. This directive governs how New Jersey state, county, and local law enforcement officers interact with federal immigration authorities. It makes clear that there is a difference between state, county, and local law enforcement officers who are responsible for enforcing state criminal law and federal immigration authorities who enforce federal civil immigration law. Under this directive, state, county, and local law enforcement may not stop, question, arrest, search, or detain individuals solely based on actual or suspected immigration status. They may not ask about immigration status except in limited, specified circumstances related to serious criminal matters, and they may not participate in civil immigration enforcement operations led by ICE except in very limited circumstances set forth in the directive. New Jersey officers remain fully empowered to enforce state criminal laws, protect public safety, investigate crimes, and hold offenders accountable. At the same time, they are restricted from using state and local resources to enforce federal civil immigration law, except to share information that is already public available, responding to requests tied to individuals charged with or convicted of serious criminal offenses, or cooperating when there is a warrant or order specifically issued by a judge through court proceedings. This directive limits proactive outreach and bars participation in civil immigration raids or joint operations that are unrelated to a state or local criminal law objective. For residents, the practical takeaways are straightforward. First, local police are here to serve and protect all community members. Reporting a crime or serving as a witness should not expose anyone to civil immigration enforcement by local authorities. Second, individuals in local or county custody will be treated in accordance with state law and the directive's rules. Third, if federal immigration authorities seek assistance, state and local agencies will evaluate those requests under the directive's criteria, honoring judicial warrants and court orders, and otherwise limiting involvement to what the directive expressly permits. We encourage members of the public to continue engaging with state and local law enforcement, to report crimes, and to seek help when needed. The directive is designed to make every neighborhood safer by ensuring that victims and witnesses can work with police without fear that interactions will be used for civil immigration enforcement. If you have any other questions, we'll be happy to provide a copy of the Attorney General Law Enforcement Directive to you, as well as a recent information sheet that was prepared by the New Jersey Department of Human Services.
Thank you very much. Krista, I would like you to send that entire piece to tap into so we can publish it. And the last thing I'll say about this too is and I did do my due diligence and make my phone calls, if we were to put forth anything other than referring to the law, it would have been lip service, and I don't respect lip service. And we might have felt good for a little while, but it wouldn't have meant anything. So this is an answer to a real question that a lot of us township leaders have, and a lot of concern. So I hope this cleared things up a little bit. And that's going to be made public through Tap Into, and if anybody wants a hard copy, we'll see that you get a hard copy.
And I assume that the police department understands this directive, basically, because I understand what it says.
Right.
Basically, it says, yes, under certain circumstances, they can work with the federal government, but for the most part, they're separate. And they do not have to assist ICE or any federal agency to arrest without a judicial warrant or, due cause, like is stated in there. A serious infraction, serious.
Jeff, you want to comment? Is that correct?
Yeah, so I invite everybody to read this. The police department and state and local law enforcement comply with this Attorney General directive because it's required. They have to. And I can assure you that our police department does the same.
Okay, and will you not comment on our Board of Ed member?
I'm not comfortable commenting on that. The floor is still open, if anybody would like to make any more comments.
Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, that was good.